Now it's time for today's perspective, and today we're going to pay tribute to one of France's most renowned war photojournalists who's really now broadened his horizons. In the 90s, Luc Delahaye covered major conflicts in countries like Afghanistan, Rwanda, Bosnia, the Gulf Chechnya and Lebanon. A new exhibition here in Paris, though, pays more attention to what he did next. The exhibition, called Luc Delahaye, Le bruit du Monde, or the noise of the world, at the Musée de Paume in the Tuileries Gardens. Before we talk to the exhibition's curator, let's get a bit of an idea of what it contains. Yes, some beautiful images that you pulled out there to put in that little trailer there. The curator, Quentin Bajac, joins us here on set. Just to be clear, Luc Delahaye, I mean, he's still very much with us. He doesn't really do interviews, does he? But, I mean, it's a great way to share your enthusiasm, I suppose, for his work. I mean, why? What is it that has enthused you about his work?
Well, I think he is one of the great French photographers and someone who occupies a strange position between photo reportage and art. As you said, he was in the 90s, throughout the 90s, one of the prominent leading figures of photo reportage. He was a member of Magnum Photo, etc. And then in 2001, 2002, he decided to quit everything and to focus himself trying to explore a new format, trying to reconcile the kind of immediacy or instantaneity of photography and a desire to produce big images. It was in a way a mix of photo reportage and history painting. He sometimes is viewed as a kind of new history painter, which is true, though I think it's not always relevant to use that term because, you know, it's sometimes a little outmoded to be a history painter. And I think Luc's work is very lively and very topical.
Yeah. I know it's not really part of the exhibition, but tell us a little bit more first about his time as a photojournalist, because, I mean, the number of countries that I mentioned, the number of wars I mentioned, I mean, that must have been an incredible moment in his life.
Yes, it's true. So Luc is now 63. He's completely self-taught in photography. He was a young photo reporter in the mid-80s. Went to Beirut first. That was his first war zone. And then from 85 to 2000, went to all the big conflict zones, you know, from Rwanda to Afghanistan to Bosnia, spent a lot of time in Sarajevo especially. Received a lot of World Press Photo Award, etc. So he was really one of the big names of photo reportage. But he had the feeling, after spending 15 years in that economy, that he wanted to move. So it was not really a rejection of the press, but more a desire to explore a new format, a new form of photography, to address a new kind of public. And maybe to try to do different images and not following always the rules of the photojournalist.
Well, we're seeing some amazing pictures that we're seeing, but the detour. But what do you think is the difference? I mean, what's the difference between being a photojournalist and creating these works of art now?
Well, when you see them on the walls, they're big. They are full of color. They're framed. They're really meant to be seen on the wall. You could reproduce them in the page, but they really live on the wall. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that it's really less about trying to record the event, but more for Luc Delahaye to try to do some strong, complex, visually striking images that are for him a memory of the way he experienced the scene or the situation. So he would, at the very beginning, take photos in a very classic form, but then he also moved away. Now he combines images on his computer, you know, assembling different shots to produce an image. And he sometimes also works staging some of his images. So it's a far cry from photojournalism. But he says, these are not my roles anymore, and I can afford to compose or to stage some of my images.
I mean, they are fabulous photos, aren't they? Some of them with this sort of a war theme, if you like, amongst them. I mean, what about the title of the exhibition, Le Bruit du Monde, the noise of the world?
Well, the noise of the world. We had the feeling that, of course, unfortunately, this exhibition is rather topical because the noise of the world is, as you will see when you visit the exhibition, it's not a whisper. It's a cry, it's a scream, it's a shout. And unfortunately, when you walk through the exhibition, you see that a lot of the war zones or conflicts that Luc Delahaye photographed over the years are still, unfortunately, going on. And you start the exhibition with Afghanistan. It's true that the first big images that he produced were in Afghanistan just a few weeks after 9/11. And then you move further and further, and you end with Ukraine, because he went to Ukraine just a few days before the invasion and stayed there. And followed the counter-offensive of the Ukrainian troops after. So yes, from Afghanistan to Ukraine, you follow a path which is not a path of love, with images that can be sometimes rather disturbing also to view. But I think it's a very powerful work.
And tell us about the museum itself, the Jeu de Paume, because you have quite a lot of photography exhibitions at the Jeu de Paume, don't you? I mean, how do you pick and decide, and why is photography such a thing that you like to highlight?
Yeah, we have, which is great, a great freedom. We're devoted to photography, and I would say the technical image, because we also have a small cinema. We're also doing video exhibitions, and we try to have a mix of French and non-French photographer, and to represent a very wide variety of images, you know, from amateur to artistic production, from photo reportage to fashion, because photography is a very complex medium, which is practiced by very different people, and it's always important to show its diversity.
And why do you think it's important, particularly to feature photographs? I mean, a lot of the time, if you think about an art museum, you think about paintings, don't you? Maybe before photojournalism and photographers. So why is that something that the Jeu de Paume likes to do?
Well, I think we like to do because we like the fact that photography is still, you know, about trying to record the real. It's probably less and less true today, but it's important, you know, to show that definition of photography, and to show that medium, which is a very democratic medium because everyone practices photography, can be sometimes an art form and sometimes not. It's a language, and it can take sometimes literary form, poetic forms, artistic forms, but it can also be something very mundane. And we like that tension, and we like the fact that it's important to show these different aspects.
And just finally, I mean, presumably he's seen the exhibition. I mean, what was it like for him coming in and seeing his work displayed in such a way?
Well, we work together a lot. You know, I'm
sure
the curator of the show, but he was very present. Yeah. He was very present. We did the hanging, the installation of the works together. He was, of course, very pleased to see most of his production, because he's someone who produces very little, 4 to 5 works a year. You know, he spends a lot of time combining on his laptop, on his computer, all these different images. So it's all really like doing almost a painting more than a photograph. It's really about making an image. And he was pleased, you know, to see the evolution of his work, because it's the biggest retrospective that he has so far.
Great to see, and thanks very much for coming in and telling us about it. As we saw from the beginning there, the exhibition on until just after the holidays at the end of the year, I think.
Yeah, January the 4th.
So, Quentin Bajac, thanks very much for coming in and telling us all about it.